I'd be home by 9. Hell, I tell her that most of the time. Whoa, baby, don't know, won't hurt her too much. Whoa, I'll tell her where, but I won't say what. Oh, now I'm dancing, oh, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with the devil. Oh, now I'm dancing, oh, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with the devil. Oh, pour me a whiskey.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Otter Creek and Rio Grande and another structure build. So the plan is to build this Bantam Model Works water tower kit, and it's going to service the mine that I just finished, and we'll take a look at this. It looks to me, I have already kind of gone through the instructions here a little bit, but I think there's like a total of 7 instructions, maybe more than that, 12 it looks like, and it's pretty cut and dry. You've got the legs, the ladder, you've got the tank buildup, then you've got the wrap, and then the tank bands. So hopefully this will go pretty quick. I'm going to get all the materials laid out and kind of look at it and see where I'm going to go from there. All right, so we've got some sticks that will be the leg material for the support structure. And then got these, which look to be either 2x6s or 2x8s. I believe that's going to be the cross members for the support structure. And we've got this little, I don't know if I can get it to show up, but this is a channel iron piece of wood that will be the depth indicator on the tank itself. And we've got this, which is the interior structure of the tank. They just kind of stack on top of each other. We've got this ladder, and we've got the form that helps you build the ladder. We've also got this, which is a form fixture to help build the legs, which is really nice. Then we've got the tank top, and then the platform that the tank sits on. We've got the wrap itself, which looks very thin and hopefully will go on without too many problems. And we've got the tank bands. I think these are self-adhesive. Yeah, they appear to be self-adhesive. And then we've got this, which is kind of hard to see, but there's lines on this. It says top right here. And so that's where the bands go on the tank itself. And then they provide a little bit of rod for plumbing purposes. So I think the first step, getting started on the legs. So I'm going to cut this material up and then figure out what color I want it to be. Okay, let's take a look at the finished product. I think I did this in, I don't know, probably 2 days, give or take. I don't know how many total hours, but you could for sure probably build this kit up in 3 evenings of some dedicated work. Very nice kit. So let me talk about a few things concerning, the instructions and or, just the overall assembly of the kit. Nothing wrong with the instructions at all. Very, very nice instructions. I didn't find anything in the instructions that were lacking at all, which is rare. Now, step 1 and 2 were these leg assemblies in the jig they provided. The jig, good idea. I think it could have been executed just a little bit better. I ended up struggling with making the pieces fit in the jig. I think he mentions in here somewhere that, the wood could swell, and so you might need to do some sanding. I ended up having to do a lot of sanding to get them to fit in there. If I were to build this again, I would just take these pieces that pop out of the jig. You've got your small leg and your long leg there. I would take them out, put them on a piece of paper, print them out, then glue the print onto some foam board, and then build right on top of it, I think, if I were to do it again. Step 3 was the ladder. Very well engineered ladder. Went together like a dream. The only thing I would say is because the ladder pieces are very small, you're going to have a hard time sanding, maybe impossible to sand the little notch that's left over where the laser, didn't cut all the way through like there always is. I just made sure that every one of those was on the bottom of the rung. And so the only way you could see them is from an extreme angle. So that's what I did. No problems whatsoever. Step 4 was building up the tank structure. My only complaint about this is that you've got a gap of the top side or the bottom side, depending on which one you put down. And really it's gonna exist in multiple different places, around the circle, where part of your wrap, your band wrap here is not going to be well supported in here, because you can't support the whole length of it because they're a quarter out from each other. So having another piece in there somewhere to help support where the bands come together would be nice. I don't think it really matters that much. It still went together quite well. Now, when I put mine together, I got a phone call in the middle of gluing, and unfortunately it was a work phone call, and I can't ignore those phone calls. And when I went back to put it back together, I didn't do my due diligence, and later on when I tried to put it together, it popped off. No big deal. I got it all put together and it looked pretty good. Then I think it goes on through, and I read these, but I didn't really read them as I was building. I'll tell you that, because a lot of it's just really self-explanatory. The tank bands went on really nice. They give you a nice little measuring tool that you can kind of see where they go. I painted mine kind of a raw umber with just a dusting of a little kind of boxcar red color on the top of it. And then they don't really discuss anything about the tank hatch. I think it says to make it out of the same 2x8 material that the cross braces are made of for the feet, I didn't use that. I found some other stuff that was a little bit smaller. They didn't really provide anything for a handle, and I just kind of scratched that all up. And then the last little thing that you do is the float piece where the gauge is. That's all wood. I just painted it white on the inside and kind of made the outside look like angle iron. I don't know if that was right or not. And then you've got the piping. And I may go back once I'm ready to set it, I need to order some plastic. I don't like working with brass because if you just look at it, the paint falls off of it. But that's it. You know, it was a really nice, cute little kit to put together. I may build one or two or more of these if I can find a place to put them, because that was really nice. All right, once again, Banta Model Works, Hillside Water Tank. Great kit. Thank you, sir. I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but I've got several auxiliary structures that I'm wanting to build for the mine, and I'm going to try and do all of those in this video, or at least most of them, the bulk of them. And one of the things that I need is a dock. So this has been the stand-in for the dock. It's the approximate dimensions that the actual dock needs to be. And so I'm going to get started on that as a scratch build, take you along with me, and show you the end result. All right, here's the finished product, and it was really just a pretty simple thing. I didn't try and go all out. Like you'll notice, I did no bracing on the back side of the thing, because you'll never see it, and nor will you see this side that's kind of butted up against the terrain. And I'm not sure how prototypically accurate it would be for this kind of structure, but it's going to work for me. I'm happy with the results. I think it ended up being wider than what I had been using, but I think it's just almost identical to the right height. It's just a little bit lower than my foam was, but it should work. I don't have the rail on it, but you put this up on code 70, it works like it's supposed to. So there's one down. I got maybe 2 or 3 more to go. We'll see what's next. No mine complex would be complete without some kind of carpenter's shack or shed or something along those lines. And so this is going to be a scratch build as well. And as all scratch builds tend to start, they start with some kind of terrible drawing. And so I think I've decided that the dimensions are going to be 12 foot high and a 20 by 24 footprint. And I think this is what I'm going for as far as the width goes and the profile of the peak. And I've got some stuff left over from the hoist house that I just got finished with. doors mostly, doors and windows. So I'm going to try and create this in a way that it matches well with what's already there. And it's going to be an adventure, but I think it'll work. And let's see how this one goes. All right, here's the end result of the carpenter's shack. Now, the roof is not glued on yet, and the reason why is I'm going to come in here, hopefully with a couple of workbenches. I've got some things ordered. I don't know if they're gonna fit. You know, what I ordered may be too big to fit in here. I won't know for sure until I receive them. But for sure, I've got to detail this up because you can't have large open doors right facing the aisle without putting something on the inside. So I'm gonna leave the roof just like it is for now. I will probably also light it, as I will a few of the other structures associated with the Two Nubs Mine. And I think I'm down to a couple more decisions on what I want to do next. Let me see what I've got. Next up, I think, will be this, which is the stationary double boiler. And I got it from Builders and Scale. It comes with a solid block of plaster of some kind. I don't know if you can see, but it's got pretty good brick detail. And I haven't looked at it real close yet, but you've got some white metal castings. It's got exhaust, and I've held this up. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show. It turns out to where the smokestacks coming out of this double boiler match almost perfectly with the smokestacks in the roof. I don't know if Wild West Models did that by design, because I think this has been out longer than this. It's hard to know for sure, but it's going to work perfectly because I've also got a large open door associated with the hoist house. And that should paint up and look real nice and be something to see on the inside of that building. So that's what I'm going to get started on. double boiler is complete. I'm not sure how well you can see it with the light the way it is. A pretty nice little kit to put together. There are definitely some things worth considering. So the smokestacks come with this, two of these, which it's kind of hard to see, but all they have is just a little bit of a recess there that, you know, and I attempted to drill one of them out, and I thought, you know, I think I've got some plastic. So I just reamed out, and I can't remember what size of tube that is, reamed out that tube, and they fit on there perfectly. And so I did that. It also provided this, which is like 10 thou by, I think what would be a scale 4 inches, as what you were supposed to use for this bracing material on the side. And I decided that I did not want to mess with something that flimsy. So I used, I think that's essentially a 3x6 in HO scale. I think that's 40 thou. I'm not 100% sure. I forgot to get that. And then also it provided this, which is really small metal piping. And I had some of this 218 styrene rod, .020 rod, that I used instead. And so you can kind of see the overall result there. Now I'm sure there should be more piping involved with this, and I don't know, I might do a little research before I decide to go into the building with it and see if there's something else I can do. But you know, very little of this is going to be seen. Pretty much you'll be able to see the front part right here, and then kind of like from, I don't know, this point forward through the open door. So there's no real need to get, you know, over ambitious on something that you're not ever going to see. Now, I started out with my tubing the same length of what they provided in the kit, which is this. And what I discovered is that when the roof comes down on top, I needed to remove about a 1/2 centimeter of length in order for this to come down. And I think it's going to work now. I haven't tried it again yet. I guess worst case scenario is I have to pop these back off and cut a little more off, but I think it's going to fit now. So that's about it on this particular kit. I'm not going to worry about putting it in the building for some time yet. I want to have all of my detail parts available to me before I go full scale with any of that. I think I've got one more structure for sure that I want to build. I haven't researched yet exactly what I want it to look like or the size, but that should be next. I'm going to finish up with one more scratch build, and again, terrible little drawing here. I originally wanted this to be like a dedicated blacksmith shop, which, I don't know, I suppose it still could be, but the space that I have to put this in really doesn't allow for anything other than like a 12 by 12 building. And I am going to put a lean-to on it. I think I can get away with adding another, 8 foot to one side of it where this one man door is, that I think I can put a lean-to on. I had a structure in mind that I found online that I really liked, but it was just, the actual structure is way too big for the space that I have, so I kind of condensed it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I may or may not like it, but I'm going to build it, so we'll get started on that and see how it turns out. here's what I ended up with. And it's far from what I would consider a great scratch build. There's definitely some issues with the lean-to, and you know, all of these structures that I've built, including the two kits, the shaft house and the boiler house, I would say they're in the 5% range of yet needing to be built. You know, I still got 5% of everything to do on all of these structures, the roofs and other kind of last minute details. So there's still more I could do to this that I may end up doing. Like, I didn't really account for some of this side structure where I ought to have another brace piece like I have here on the side. I'm not sure how important that is. Depending on where I place it in the scene, I might not even need it, but I'm thinking that I for sure need some bracing on this side because I think it will be seen. But nonetheless, I'm going to call it quits on this particular video, and I should move right straight into scenery for everything having to do with the Atlantic Cable Mine and the area in and around it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you around.
Oh, pour me a whiskey, old barkeep.